Hey, today we're going to read a nonfiction book about, can you guess? Frogs. So, this book will be very important for our Zoom meeting tomorrow, so make sure you watch this before our Zoom meeting at noon tomorrow. Got it? All right, our story is called Fascinating Frogs. And our table of contents tells us what we'll be learning about, right? So on the first page we have our introduction. The second page we have poison dart frogs, then bullfrogs, leopard frog, red-eyed tree frog, horned frog, glass frog, and glossary. Let me move myself so you can see here. Introduction. Ribbit, ribbit. Even toddlers recognize the sound of a frog. Why do you think that is? Why are we so fascinated with this animal? Is it because their croak is so different than the sounds that most other animals make? Or is it because some species of frogs can leap 20 times their own length in one jump? I am not sure what the reason for the fascination is, but I do know a few things about frogs. Frogs are amphibians that lay their eggs in or near water. Frogs will go through a complete metamorphosis, also known as a major change, in their lives. During the tadpole phase, they have gills, but will develop lungs so that they can breathe air. Frogs don't drink water like we do, they soak it up through their skin. There are around 4,780 different species of frogs with slightly different behaviors and appearances. Let's take a closer look at a few of these frogs. Gotta keep moving myself out of your way, sorry. Poison dart frog. The rainforests of Central and South America are home to one of the world's most poisonous animals, the poison dart frog. The bright colors are not just for fashion purposes. They are a warning to predators to be aware of their toxicity. For example, the golden poison dart frog could kill 20,000 mice with the poison inside its body. The frog's skin is covered in the poison, so just one lick of its skin could mean death for a predator. But what about the dart part of their name? You guessed it, their poison is extracted and used on the end of hunters' darts to make these weapons even more dangerous. A bullfrog. The bullfrog gets its name due to its loud, deep croak and how similar it is to a cow's moo. Bullfrogs are semi-aquatic, which means they live near the edge of freshwater ponds and lakes. They eat insects, mice, snakes, fish, and other small creatures. They lunge at their food and swallow it whole. The female bullfrog lays up to 20,000 jelly-like eggs at one time. Once eggs become tadpoles, it will take them a year to develop into full-blown frogs. The male frog will hang around to protect the tadpoles, and he will attack any predator that tries to harm them. Bullfrogs help us out by eating mosquitoes, larvae, and keeping the mosquito population from getting out of control. Leopard frog. The leopard frog is known for its large circular spots on its back. These spots act as camouflage by helping it blend in with its surroundings. This adaptation protects the frog from predators. The leopard frog is also known as the meadow frog because it can live in large open fields or even mountains. Most frogs live right next to fresh water to ensure that their skin stays moist. When the leopard frog is away from a permanent water source, it will rest in small holes, like a ditch that it creates with its own body. During the winter, leopard frogs hibernate under rocks, mud, or underwater. The leopard frog can leap 8 feet in one jump and is the state amphibian for both Vermont and Minnesota. Red-eyed tree frog. Like other frogs, the red-eyed tree frog begins its life in eggs, then changes into a tadpole, and eventually becomes a frog. The bright colors of their eyes and legs are a defense mechanism known as startle coloration. The shocking colors usually cause predators to freeze and give the tree frogs enough time to escape. Red-eyed tree frogs are nocturnal amphibians who mostly eat insects or frogs that are smaller than they are. Red-eyed tree frogs also have suction cup toes that help them cling to trees and branches. Female tree frogs lay their eggs on the underside of leaves that hang over water. This is very strategic because when the tadpoles emerge from their eggs, they will be washed down the leaves right into the water where they stay until they are developed enough to climb up the trees. Horned frog. The most common horned frog is the Argentine wide-mouthed frog. These frogs can be found in rainforests of South America. They are known as greedy eaters as they will attempt to eat anything that moves close to them, from lizards to birds to small mammals. They will remain motionless until they spot their prey. Then they will shoot out their extremely sticky tongue, let it hit their prey, and retract their tongue back into their mouth. Their strong jaws will slam shut, preventing their prey from escaping. If a larger predator tries to eat them, the horned frog will bite it. The pointy pieces over their eyes act as another element of camouflage, as they look like leaves on the ground. Glass frog. Like many interesting frogs, the glass frog is native to Central and South America. His skin is so translucent that you can see his beating heart and other organs. Many people mistake the glass frog for a tree frog, but they have several differences. As far as their appearance, the main difference is that glass frogs have large, forward-facing eyes, whereas the tree frog has eyes on the sides of its head. Glass frogs are territorial, which means that they claim an area as their own. Male glass frogs will warn other male glass frogs with a loud croak, but they will also become aggressive with other glass frogs that try to come into their area. Frogs are quite the fascinating creatures. Can you find similarities in the behaviors of these frogs to other animals we have studied? Here's our glossary, which tells us some of our vocabulary words like defense mechanism, which was on page 5. It's a behavior meant to protect oneself from harm. And how about permanent? You might know what this means from page 4, lasting for a very long time. Or retract on page 6, which means to pull back in. That frog retracts its tongue and pulls its sticky tongue back in. Toxicity, page 1, how poisonous something is. So if something is toxic, it's very poisonous, and its toxicity is just how poisonous it is. Translucent was just on the last page, and it means not completely clear, but enough that light can pass through and it can be seen through. So pretty see-through, but not totally clear. Alrighty, my friends, that was our story for today. Thanks for listening.